¿Está bien como así? Perfecto. Good morning. Sorry for the delay. Yeah, this will take like 30 minutes, I guess, roundabout, so we are still very much in time. The presentation will be in English today. I hope that's fine. But if there's anything so far not clear enough, or you have any questions and doubts, raise your hand during the presentation whenever you feel like it, and also you can approach me afterwards as well, and I can try to explain anything more in depth. Okay, so the topic of today's talk is what developers really want, uncovering the essential work benefits for software developers. And my name is Niklas. I'm a digital marketing manager, so the first question might be, why am I talking about work benefits for software developers if I'm not a software developer myself? The reason is that I'm working very closely with the HR in my company, and for this reason, because I'm taking care of all the external communication, I'm very much in close connection with the recruiting process at Factorial, and also with the whole the whole idea of what messages we want to send out to the world. And also, especially in preparation for this talk, I talked with a couple of software developers, not only from my team but also from other companies, in order to really make this as authentic as it is and as it can be. But also for the presentation, it's very important that if you are software developers, that you also get the chance to talk, because this talk is basically about stuff that you want to have when you work at a company. So I'm very, very much interested in what you think and what you also want as a software developer, because in that case, we might be able to change something for the better for the whole community. My handles are there as well for Twitter or X or however you want to call it, and also for LinkedIn. To be fair, these are not my additional surnames that I know in Spain you have like 2 surnames, but apparently my name is in Germany very common. It's like Maria Lopez here, so I had to add like some words to the handle in order to let LinkedIn give people the chance to find me. So I'm working at Factorial, which is a company that's based in Hamburg in Germany, and I'm part of the Drupal community since 2020, so relatively new. And as I said, I'm not a software developer, which means that my contribution to the community rather lays in organizing events, especially for the German Drupal community, like the Drupal user group in Hamburg, or also the annual Splash Awards, where we celebrate Drupal projects. The next one will be in November in Germany, so I'm also like right in the middle of the organization of that event. So one question before we dive into the topic is, who is Factorial? And I know that many people don't know us yet, and this is about to change. So Factorial is a company from Germany that is providing digital solutions based on Drupal. I think in the whole Drupal community in Germany, Factorial is rather one of the bigger companies working with Drupal. And what we basically do is turn business goals into tech reality. And what that means is that we not only implement the technical solution, but we also consult companies in their digital strategy and try to transfer and also translate those strategy KPIs and the overall digital strategy into the tech realm and create complex digital ecosystems. And the whole journey started with these 3 guys in 2014. So they are all software developers, and in 2014 they founded the company. And if you take a look at the number of employees, it's quite interesting how Factorial grew from 3 employees or 3 founders in 2014 to almost 60 people in 2022, in the end of 2022. Especially during the Corona years, we grew a lot. And what happened is that, especially when you're working in software, you have to deal with a lot of people that work from other locations, not only from other countries, but also from other cities within the same country. So what happened is that besides employees like me, there were also employees joining the company like Alvaro, who's in fact having a talk right now as well about PHP Stan. So I encourage you, if you have any questions regarding that, to approach him later. He'll be more than welcome to talk about it and to talk about his key takeaways from the presentation. So there are people like Alvaro joining the company, and step by step, Factorial grew into a company spread across the globe. I have to say at this point that the whole home office and remote working situation wasn't very new to us during Corona, and I'm sure to many companies that you are working for, it was also the same case. Software companies were a little bit like early adopters in this situation, especially when you have such an amazing community like Drupal, where people from all over the world are working together. I think it's more than reasonable that a lot of people are already working for companies in other locations. So what happened is we became a company spread across the globe. So we have colleagues in Canada, we have colleagues in Singapore, in Armenia, and also in a lot of European countries, like Alvaro here working from Spain. And Alvaro is one of the colleagues working not from Germany, but from another country, which means that I also don't have the possibility of seeing him very, very often and talking to him in person, which is great that, we both are here and we have the possibility also to spend time together. So what happened is the way that we work together has changed over the years. I think I made that clear. And in software, it is more advanced, obviously, than other industries, but also in other industries, the whole home working or home office and remote working approach kind of got through. So what happened is that there is less commuting and more home office. Even myself, living in Hamburg and working in Hamburg, I'm only joining the office once every second week, because I just enjoy the home office so much. But there's a problem that's coming along with that. And that is, if you take a look at work benefits that are offered to job seekers in the software industry or in the IT industry, it's hilarious what you find. And I'm not talking about general work benefits that also are very important to have, that I will name in a second. But when you specifically approach or try to approach job seekers for remote positions, then some of the work benefits that I'm going to show you in a second are just hilarious because, you will see yourself. So what do we got? I did an extensive research and I just kind of summed up the, let's say, most occurring work benefits that I could find. For example, they offer a gym membership in the town where the office and the company is located. Then you have, obviously, the most amazing organic coffee that you ever tried in your life. There is a saying about flexible working hours, but in the same sentence it is said that you have to start at least until 9, and you have to stay at least until 4 or 5 p.m., which gives you the flexibility of what, 1 hour? So this really doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, they have fruit from the local farmer that they provide for their employees. They offer you a car if you want to, even electric ones in some cases. That was kind of interesting and great, of course. Then there is a laundry service, so someone comes to the office, picks up your laundry, and afterwards returns it back to the office so you can take it home. They talk about the amazing food that they have in their own canteen. and their own restaurants that are located in the office. And they talk about all the amazing events that they offer, after-work events for their people on their sun terrace in the office, and that they're having drinks every Tuesday at this specific bar, and that they're doing like pub quizzes and stuff like that. And obviously the mandatory yoga class every Tuesday evening. I think that is also one thing that I, especially in digital agencies, stumbled upon quite some times. And then, yeah, they talk about the office, they talk about hammocks, they talk about the amazing desks and chairs, and they talk about how like well located the office is in the city center, 14th floor, and you have like I don't know, you see like a sun coming down every day when you're finishing your work. We do have a very nice office though as well, but this is not really part of the presentation. And as I said, there are perks that obviously are also important for people working in the city where the company is located. But for people like Alvaro, who is working from Spain and not working in Germany, what do you think his reaction to all of those work benefits is? So for him, who is like visiting the company location maybe twice or 3 times a year, it goes without saying that the majority of those work benefits are really not working out for him. So why should he apply for the position at this company in the first place? So what I'm going to talk about today is what are the work benefits that software developers really benefit from. And I'm really interested in also your thoughts. So if you have any story to share, any idea that you want to express, then please just raise your hand. And what I will do is that I will share some best practices from Factorial. Some of them will be not surprising at all because a lot of companies are doing that as well. But I think there are a couple of work benefits that we do or that we offer that are really making a difference. And I think there are 7 in total, but after that I'm more than welcome to spend the rest of the time also getting into a discussion with you guys about work benefits that you really cherish and you also wish for in your actual company at the moment, but also of course in any company that you're working at in the future. And the first one, let's start with an easy one, is the educational budget. So I think this is basically a best practice, and it's very common in many companies offering an educational budget because it is very important to enable your team members to increase their set of skills and to level up, because I think everyone wants to learn and also wants to keep learning throughout his or her career. And we have a dedicated educational budget at Factorial as well. Of course, if you compare it to the educational budget at Microsoft or Google, we can't offer that much of an educational budget, but nonetheless, it's a start, and it's very helpful to do workshops, to attend congresses and conferences like this one here, and to really increase the set of skills and extend your knowledge in some certain areas. The next one, which is also rather obvious, is the flexible working hours. And we at Factorial believe that it's really about making your work life fit your private life and not the other way around. So often during the day you will find scheduled meetings in the calendars of the colleagues where they say, I'm out for 2.5 hours because I'm going to pick up my kids from kindergarten and I'm going to prepare lunch for them, and afterwards I will continue to work during the evening, for example, when it's more suitable for me. Or people that have to take care of their loved ones during the day, or they start very early and then have a huge lunch break in between in order to run some errands, to do some chores. And I think this is exactly what flexible working hours is supposed to be about. So it's really about rearranging your private life first in order to make the most out of your working hours during the day. Actually, also the city of Hamburg acknowledges the efforts that we're doing at Factorial because they gave us a a seal that now proves Factorial is a family-friendly company. And I think that is actually a very strong signal to the outside world, because in times where the boundaries between working and private life, especially in home office, are kind of blurring, because at some point you're still sitting at your desk at home, but you're doing something private, and then there's like an email coming in and you start to work again. I think it's very important to have this very much like separated. And for this reason, we're very happy that we were acknowledged with that seal. One other aspect is the personal well-being. So at Factorial, we are doing monthly checkups with everyone, and we also have a cooperation with the Fürstenberg Institute, which is an institute or an organization that provides a very unique service, and that is that you can get in touch with them and you can talk with them and you can get like consultation on private matters from an external person, which I think is very important, because at some point maybe you have some stress at work and you have some stress in your team and you would like to express what's bothering you, but it's very hard to do that because you have to do that with the boss that you just had the conflict with. And for this reason, we are very happy that we can offer this cooperation with the Fürstenberg Institute. And also we're doing the annual and also the meetings every 6 months, where we are talking about also the personal journey of each and every one at Factorial. And this kind of also gives some indications about what to spend the educational budget, for example, on in the next year. And what we also do at this case is that we do an extensive employee survey twice a year in order to really check up on the team, check if we can find any anomalies and find anything that's been really bothering the team, or at a bigger scale, in order to change something for the better. So knowledge transfer, I think, is also a very, very obvious one. About sharing expertise and foster exchange. What is special at Factorial, I think, is that we have a format that is called working group, and in that situation, the units are meeting on a bi-weekly basis with a lot of time. I think it's 60 or 90 minutes, where they introduce new ideas, approaches, technologies, and modules into the unit. And we do that in every unit. So front-end is meeting up on Monday, for example, bi-weekly, and the back-end working group, I think, or the Drupal working group, I think, is meeting up on Thursday on a bi-weekly basis. So it's really about this whole like knowledge transfer and the approach of passing on expertise and knowledge to other people. And also we have a team meeting where the whole company is meeting up every second week, and where also colleagues are encouraged to present topics to the whole team, not only to their unit. And it goes without saying that we, of course, also include pair programming and those situations and those working approaches into our daily work. So the next aspect is empowering communication. I was in a very interesting session from Raul yesterday, where he was talking about how to communicate and how to also communicate in a wrong way. And what we believe at Factorial is, given the fact that we work with so many different cultures and so many different people with different backgrounds and languages, it's very important that we find some common ground with one language, which is why we offer free language lessons in English to help our team not only to get comfortable with speaking and communicating in general, but also with presenting in English, because this gets, in the recent years, this got like rather more important than before, that also clients want to hear a solution approach or a milestone presented by a software developer and not by the project manager, who's also having his very own perspective on the topic. And then what I found in my research quite like many times was that there was always this line saying it's mandatory to come to the office at least once a week or at least once a month. But what I think is more important is not creating many personal experiences, but creating meaningful experiences. Because it also happens that your company forces you to join the office once a month, or maybe once every second week or every week, and then you're getting there and you're sitting there all day working besides your colleagues who are also just working, and there's really nothing else going on. And I think it's more important when you force people to come, or when you ask people to come, of course, then it's really about creating a meaningful experience and a meaningful in-person occasion. And we, for example, did that 2 weeks ago. We had a summer party in our office in Hamburg, and we asked our whole team to come and to join us, also from all the countries. So our colleague from Canada joined us, and also our colleague from Singapore, who actually combined that trip with like some personal vacation to go to some countries and visit some places. And what we did was we organized this whole like summer party in order to cherish 9 years of Factorial, but also we combined that with a workshop. So we really united the whole team in Hamburg and really tried to work on some stuff. And what we did last year was, for example, as well, 1 week like workation, let's say offsite. I think that sounds more professional. So we did an offsite in Portugal, in Ericeira, also with the whole team. And these are the meaningful experiences that our colleagues are still talking about like 1.5 years later. So I don't see any point in forcing people to come when there's nothing going on. And then the last work benefit that I wanted to share today with you is the contribution days. So what we do is that every employee at Factorial gets 10 days per year to spend on open source projects. I think that's really, really nice to have, especially when working with a technology like Drupal, which is really relying on contributions and on the efforts of each and every one of the community. And what's interesting here is that even people like I, who have zero competence in terms of software, are receiving those 10 days. And what we usually spend them on is, for example, visiting conferences, giving talks, organizing events, and trying to connect the community locally, but also on a national and global scale. And what's interesting here is as well that, for example, if you submit sessions to conferences, you even get like additional days in order to prepare the presentations and get your whole like travel itinerary sorted out. So yeah, I wrote sessions at Drupal events, but this also includes obviously other events and is not only tied to Drupal. Right, so, and with that, I'm coming to a very short wrap-up. I changed the color of the presentation just to wake you up a little bit and to change the scenery. And there are 3 major key takeaways that I want you to take with you. And that is the first one, people matter. And I think that is something that many companies tend to forget, that it's really about encouraging and also enabling your employees to work in the most efficient way. How do you do that? You do that by offering support also in private matters with flexible working hours, with also educational budget, and with any kind of training and education that you can offer them in order to become a better version of themselves, and also to really not have their mind drawn away from work the whole time because they have some private stuff going on. The second one is everyone wants to grow, and I just mentioned the educational budget, but the educational budget really is tied into this key takeaway. It's really important to give the possibility of people, or to give the possibility to your employees to learn, to grow, to level up, and to increase their set of skills, and also leave them the room to express what they want to express. In a professional way, but also in a private way. I think this really enriches the whole company culture so much. And then the last one, which I just see now, is a kind of rhyme that was not intended. You reap what you sow, and what I mean with that is that, especially when working with a community like Drupal, the more you invest in your team and in each and every one, also the more feedback you get. So, for example, when you are a company that is contributing a lot to the community at Drupal, the people know, and the people realize that, and they pick up on that, and they think, okay, this company is a really nice company because they have so many like amazing maintainers in their team, and they encourage people to contribute, and they attend on conferences and give talks and stuff like that. People will realize that and recognize that and also acknowledge that, and this will lead to the fact that people start to apply at your company on an like initiative, on their own initiative. So you don't even have to put out job offers. People will apply at your company because they just really acknowledge what you're doing. Okay, didn't like the last color, switched back. So the last session, or the last slide, sorry, the last slide of the presentation is what did I miss? And this would be the perfect opportunity for you to chime in and to share experiences that you have, to share rant if you have it regarding the presentation that I just showed you, or also some good, some best practices, some experiences and thoughts that you made. So is there anyone here who would like to share something? Could be in English, could be in Spanish. I try my best in Spanish as well. Please go ahead. Oh, shall we give him a mic? Oh yeah, obviously you can also ask questions. That goes without saying.
I would like to ask a question.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So I don't know if these mics are working.
Let's see, I think this one is working. We just need to turn it on.
If not, everybody can hear me, I guess, right? I don't think we need. Okay.
There you go.
Thanks. So you were talking about this work-life balance thing and focusing on private life and kind of figuring out how to get in the professional life. How do you account for, you even gave examples about family and long lunches and whatever, you have to go there and you have to go there, which is very, of course, we all do it and we all have to do that and we all have lives going on and we all benefit from working from home in these situations. But how do you account for the fact that especially software developers, we work together a lot more than just scheduled meetings. It's not enough to have a meeting at 3 o'clock and then everybody knows. It's like typing on Slack, hey, why did you do this? Because now literally I cannot proceed. And that person is off doing whatever. Or you get my point in that sense. And there's a lot of this as software developers. There's a lot of these quick interactions that kind of make it that everybody should always be available to a point. And this kind of goes against this flexibility of which I am very grateful for, and I use that as well. So it's kind of a conflicting thing, in my opinion, because I also want to be able to go and do my stuff when I have to. So I don't know, how do you handle this balance, this tricky aspect, I would say?
Thank you for the question, first of all. And I think you really raised a very good point. What I can only say to that, because of course you always need to consider the individual situation. There are projects and also times during a project where you need to have a lot more exchange than during other periods. And the only thing that you can do in order to kind of avoid those not only knowledge islands, I call them like that, or also really waiting for a response for a couple of hours, is that you try to at some point anticipate that in a way that you say, okay, so I know today that I will have these things to do and I will be out for 2.5 or 3 hours. So let's try to talk right before, right after that, and I really try to make some time in between like blocking some time. I know that's not really solving the situation here, but what you can also do is that you can involve more than one person in order to not only have this like one-to-one exchange, but also having an exchange between at least 3 people, so one is always available. There are situations as well where there's like an emergency at home or something, and where people just type, "Sorry, I have to go. I'll be back in like 1 hour," or stuff like that. And in this situation, what we do is that in the project team, we are working with front-end developers, back-end developers, with a project manager that's kind of like trying to coordinate the whole crew. And what we do here is that we try to create like very direct and fast-working channels towards the administrative forces of the teams, so the project managers, and they try to get a developer from another team who's working on some totally other stuff, an experienced developer, to kind of join the conversation for a moment and to like jump in those situations. So it's not optimal. I totally give you that. That's right. But I think it's a constant process. Also, if you're once in this situation that this happens, then you really know what to do better next time. In order to like communicate earlier and trying to arrange the whole thing that it's working out. This is basically what we do.
Okay, all right.
I hope that this answered the question somehow.
Well, it answered you answered the question. That didn't really solve my issue. As in, this is very often, it's very developer to, person to person. There is no third person that can help. It's like what you were thinking, what that person was thinking. If there's an emergency and you need to leave, that's it. There is no problem. There's no problem if it's like this. But I think every team needs to find that balance in which everybody doesn't just willy-nilly, whenever they feel like, just leave for whatever, every day, working whenever at 10 o'clock in the evening. Yeah. I'm not working at 10 o'clock in the evening. You're no use to me if I need to work with you at 10 o'clock in the evening.
That is true. But what you could do in that situation is that you shift the stuff that you can work on yourself to that time period, and the times that other people need you, you focus on the tasks where they need you. That could be also one approach.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a continuous struggle.
I give this back to you because I don't know how to mute it.
Of course. Oh yeah. Wait. This time I come to you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, really, really interesting stuff. Thanks a lot. I also have more of a question regarding, because you said you do, I guess, monthly checkups or something like that with each employee, and also you have these like focused working groups, and we have partly something similar at the company I work for, and also, like, full disclaimer, I used to work for Factorial as well, so I have some of the experiences coming from that as well. Something that I experience is with these kind of meetings, it's really cool at the beginning. The first couple of times you meet, you have like something to share, and you are looking forward, to use that opportunity, maybe to talk with your boss or whatever, and to share your experience. Also in this working group, I have some back-end stuff that I want to share with other people. But then, in my experience, what happens after a while, you've been meeting for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months or half a year, and then everyone joins the meeting, and then everyone says like, okay, do you have anything new to share? And everyone's like, no, we're all just busy working on projects, and then it's like, okay, maybe you chat for 5 minutes and then it's over. And the same with like a check up with the boss, basically. You just go to the meeting and your boss says, is everything okay? And you say, yeah, everything is okay. Let me continue with my projects. And do you have any like tools or suggestions or ideas how to basically keep momentum in these kind of things, and how to like continuously bring new stuff there, and how to, basically that's the question.
I perfectly know what you mean. Like when we started to do the Drupal user group in Hamburg after Corona, first 2 meetings were like amazing, a lot of topics, a lot of submissions, and then it kind of decreased. In the working groups, what we do is that we have like one pro lead per team, and it's his or her obligation to kind of coordinate the meeting. So either if there is no submission, no topic to be discussed, the pro lead introduces the topic, and if not, then the pro lead is approaching people to introduce topics themselves. So this doesn't have to be something very innovative at some point. It can also be just an insight from their current project and putting something into discussion that they struggle with, or that where they would like to have like a second opinion, and it's a dedicated time where the whole backend unit is present, and the whole backend unit is also giving feedback to stuff. So how the working group is set up really differs from time to time, but we have the pro lead in order to really make it a constructive meeting. Thanks for the question.
Thanks.
Please, go ahead.
I'm going to try to say in English. Do you say you have a course to learn language like English? You have any course to learn Deutsch? And if you want to travel to live on Hamburg, did you have any help, or did you have any benefit or advantage?
So in that, I think that is a specific case, because what usually happens is that also in Hamburg it's possible to speak English, but what we did, that was kind of like an free initiative from colleagues like me, for example, or from other colleagues, to say, okay, we currently only have an English class for the employees, but we will make some time in the evening, like 2 or 3 times, in order to do like a German crash course, so that people can really pick up on a couple of vocabulary that they need when they travel to Germany. But besides that, we try to focus on English first, because this is the main language that we all use in the company.
Thanks.
And I think actually, because I just get the signal that we have to stop here, let me just get the microphone from you. Yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for participating. Thank you for joining my session. And of course, thanks to the sponsors making this possible. Thank you.